everybody is leaving Canada, and frankly, we're not.
We were at some point among those thinking of leaving too, but it didn't make much sense for us.
This video is going to be real talk. We will share a few reasons why we consider moving and why we don't plan to leave Canada anytime soon.
Let's go. Real quick about our situation. I moved to Canada in 2009. My first job was at Second Cup Cafes, and I finished a bachelor's degree in business technology management. I worked in technology startups in product management and marketing. I lived in different neighborhoods in Montreal and Toronto. In fact, I moved 10 times in 13 years, so I've seen different areas, both good and bad.
I moved to Canada in 2019 through express entry as a petroleum engineer, right before the pandemic started. And I was lucky to find a job within 1 month as a mechanical designer at Enbridge. The thing is, the job was in a small town in Chatham, so I spent the first year in Canada in the middle of nowhere. That gave me the start that I needed, and 9 months later I was able to find a better position in a mining and minerals engineering firm here in Toronto. Now, back to Canada.
Things aren't the same in Canada since the pandemic. Millions lost their jobs and got locked up in their homes, all while LCBOs and green stuff shops out there remained open and considered essential businesses.
I can only imagine what effect all that can have on one's mental health. Along with all job losses, tons of money was printed and injected into economy to support those who lost income. Supply chain issues driven the prices up, and home prices were a roller coaster.
The continued lockdowns and travel bans were highly annoying. But it's not just in Canada. The global pandemic put the entire world to a halt. Lockdowns, job losses, money printing, homelessness, mental health issues, inflation, housing bubbles. All these issues are not unique to Canada.
The entire world is suffering right now, and everyone is dealing with it in their own way. We haven't found a country that does it well yet. If you have, let us know in the comments below.
But one thing that we've realized through that process is that it's the same shit everywhere. And it all comes down to what we can gain versus lose by moving elsewhere. It's all about the opportunity cost.
We see a ton of opportunities in Canada, especially now in the time of crisis. It has just turned 156 years old. In the grand scheme of the world, Canada is like a teenager. And you know, teenagers go through puberty. It's growing and growing fast and makes a ton of mistakes along the way. Teenagers are like a sponge at the same time, absorbing everything around them for growth. For Canada, part of growth is bringing new skilled workers to support and drive the growth of its economy. We have a large land with abundant resources, yet Canadian productivity sucks. It needs people to help make good use of these resources. It needs fresh blood that is motivated and is willing to work hard. And that's not gonna change anytime soon. There are nearly 1 million job vacancies in Canada at any given time. Its unemployment rate is at 4%, while Spain, Greece, Brazil, Colombia are experiencing nearly 15% of unemployment. When it comes to pure job opportunities, Canada remains one of the best places for that. Personally, we see a lot of opportunities in our respective fields. Anastasia works in tech industry and I do engineering work in mining industry. Both our industries are booming right now. We enjoy what we do and the impact we make in our work. If either one of us loses a job, we'll work hard to find another one, go back to school, take on a debt, or move to a cheaper place. I don't think it'll be worth moving to another country for a job. Not unless we have a job offer and relocation package. Worst case scenario, I don't mind driving Uber or working at Tim Hortons if I have to. Chances are, if I move to any country in Europe, I will still have to drive Uber and work at a cafe until I feel firm ground below my feet. Here's the thing. If Canada, the most immigrant-friendly country, wants you to have Canadian experience, do you really think that 90% of other countries who are not that welcoming to immigrants will hire us? But it's not just our fields, trades, and even hospitality industries that have tons of opportunities. We recently made a video about top 7 most in-demand professions in Canada. Check it out for more. Sure, there is hesitance in hiring non-Canadian experienced workers, and some jobs in highest demand aren't sexy like trucker or laborer. But these unsexy jobs are opportunities too. I've met immigrants who opened their own successful private plumbing or renovation practice. There's plenty of tangible things you can do to make non-Canadian experience a non-argument when interviewing for a job. For every immigrant who struggles to find a job, there's always 3 other immigrants who landed their job within the first couple of months in Canada. If you are currently experiencing the issue of no Canadian experience, with a vast experience in hiring and job search, Anastasia and I coach newcomers on how to land your first dream job in Canada. We help you build your resume, your job search strategy, and prepare for interviews. We are also launching a career course very soon, so that you can get ready to land your dream job at any time that works for you. If you're interested, sign up using the link below. And if working a job is not your cup of tea, it's easier than ever to start your own small business in Canada. With such a huge land, strong immigration numbers, there are so many opportunities to open local or national business, from cafes and warehouses to cleaning or repairing services. You just need to be creative, determined, and resourceful. There are so many small growing towns in Canada that lack the most basic amenities, like a gym, a coffee shop, or a yoga studio. Think about it.
Canada is a safe country. There are no bombs flying above our head, no war that's about to start with a neighboring country. Canada is geographically lucky to be on a separate continent free from conflicts for now. Canada is a country safer than 90% of the world. Here you can safely walk around the street at night and not worry for your life. Sure, some neighborhoods in Toronto or Vancouver are sketchy, but it's nowhere near what you'd experience on the streets of Rio or Moscow. Mental health crisis is real, and Canada is frankly not handling it gracefully. But as long as you take the most basic precautions, you can feel very safe in Canada. Just don't do stupid things. In Canada, you can't do business without the fear of being shot by a competitor or strong-armed by the government to take contracts that make you lose money. Lastly, you can sleep calmly knowing that the government won't confiscate your apartment or business just because it feels like it. But don't go crazy. Pissing off the government is not a good idea anywhere in the world. Whatever you do, don't be stupid. When we were getting tired of never-ending lockdowns, we considered moving to Costa Rica or Mexico. However, the safety and the overall trust level there did not match Canada.
Canada is politically stable. Canada is a democratic country where laws are respected and most of them make sense. We don't have to worry about having to bribe the authorities to get things done. We come from an ultimately dangerous and corrupt country, so it takes a lot to surprise us too. We see many Canadians aren't happy with the current situation here, and they say that it's corrupt, it's dictatorship. Well, let me tell you, it's still 100 times better than 90% of the world. It's disheartening to see the slightly more heated political debates today with the whole liberal versus conservative battle. But so far, it's the same old stuff. One side screws up, and the other complains and points finger without actually proposing any viable or actionable alternatives. Nothing new here. That's how it's been for decades everywhere in the world. The overall democratic institution in Canada stays strong, and we look forward to what the next election brings. We will vote. Please vote too. Many criticize the government for making moves to increase censorship and government oversight. We're keeping an eye on that. It doesn't affect our everyday life right now. We're not attached to a country. We're attached to our personal goals and definition of success. Before you start wondering, no, we're not associating ourselves with any political party. The world is not black and white for us, and we share both liberal and conservative views depending on the topic. We still trust democracy will do the right thing. And if we lose this trust, we will find another country to call home, and we will not whine about Canada.
Canada is diverse. We have friends from literally everywhere in the world, from east to west, from north to south. This is probably my favorite part about Canada, meeting new people and learning their stories, their culture, customs, and discovering their food. We don't feel like immigrants anymore. We feel like home, because every second or third person we meet has a story to share about moving to this country too. Personally, we cannot name a single country where we can experience the same level of integration as immigrants. Even the United States felt much less diverse last time we visited. Sure, Canada is not perfect, but it's the lesser evil compared to other countries that have outlawed Indigenous voting rights, for instance, or have an illegal immigration crisis, or is seeing a crazy inflation because of the digital nomad invasion. If we were to move anywhere in Europe, we will forever remain expats. French or German will never accept us as their own. If we downshift to a country with lower cost of living like Latin America or Asia, we will forever remain white gringos with deep pockets. Overall, happiness is within. Some travel the world for decades and never find home. Some are afraid to make a change and remain unhappy where they are. We create our own happiness here, so we're not moving anywhere. We're proud to be Canadian. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please passionately tap the like button below and make sure to subscribe to our channel not to miss any upcoming videos about how to build a successful and happy life in Canada. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care.